Having worked out the sum of the values on the two cards, sums, we now want to calculate some probabilities. We're going to answer questions 1 and 2 on the sheet. So the first one asks us, what is the probability that the sum of the values on the cards equals 10? Well, we could kind of count that quite easily. We can see where there are 10s on as a result of the sum, but what we need to know is what proportion of the outcomes, each of which is equally likely, yield the value 10. So first of all, I've got to work out how many possible outcomes there are. Now I could do that by noting that there are 9 possible values that the spade can take and 9 possible values that the heart can take, and therefore there are 81 possible outcomes in total. But let's suppose that I'm not good at mental arithmetic and I just get Excel to do it for me. What I can do is use the function count, which will look at a range of numbers, or a range of cells rather, and count up how many of them take some value. So cells that are text or cells that are empty won't be counted. I can apply this here, so I select a particular cell where I want my result to go, and I just enter equals count. I drag across the range that I want to have a count for, close the brackets, and the answer is 81. So not surprisingly, it came to the same result as I did in my head. Now we want to know what proportion of these cells yields the sum equal to 10. Well, we want to count the number of 10s there are amongst the possible set of sums, and to do that we use the COUNTIF function. That does a count, but it also applies a condition. Let me show you how. I will enter equals count, but add if. Open the brackets. Again, I'm going to supply a range of possible cells where I want the condition to be checked, which is the same as the set of all possible outcomes. Hit a comma, then I enter my condition within quotes. So my condition is that the sum of the cells equals 10. I close my quotes, and I close my brackets. The answer is 7, and then I can work out the probability, because it's just the proportion of the total number of outcomes which take the value 10 is 7 out of 81, and that evaluates to 0.08642. Okay, that's the first question. The second question is where the sum of the values on the cards is equal to 14, is greater than 14. So now we're working on a different probability. We're trying to work out what proportion of the total number of outcomes have values where the sum is greater than 14. So we're looking at this bottom right corner of the array of numbers. I'll again use the COUNTIF function to do that. Enter equals COUNTIF. I open the brackets. I evaluate it across all of the possible outcomes again. I hit a comma. Then I enter my condition, open quotes, greater than, I use the greater than sign, 14, close quotes, close brackets, hit return, the answer is 21. So what is the probability that the sum of the values on the cards is greater than 14? Well, it's equal to 21 out of 81, and the answer to that is 0.259. That's the probability of getting a number that is greater than 14.